Alright, it's that time again, time for another midweek video. And I'm thinking, what's the difference between a Canadian jam knot and an arbor knot? Let's get to it. Alright, so an arbor knot or Canadian jam knot. Now, over the years, the lines have been blurred, and when people say, I'm going to tie that up and secure it with a Canadian jam knot, or someone says, I'm going to use an arbor knot over here to bind these two poles together, the terms get mismatched, and that's okay. The end result is almost the exact same thing. You're going to ratchet something down and tighten the cordage around an object and ultimately secure it so it doesn't move. An arbor knot and a Canadian jam knot do the exact same thing. They're even tied the exact same way, with the exception of one thing. One is strictly designed to be removable, okay? The other is not. It's fixed, it's permanently on there. You made that backpack, that structure, that raised bed, whatever you created, you don't want it to move. It's on there permanently. The only way you're getting it off is to cut it off, okay? Now, not getting too technical, I want to say probably mid to late 70s, Morris Kohansky started publishing books and bringing the old ways into light. A lot of people's lives were changed. It opened the door to what we have today. And he was a pioneer in the field. And he, in my opinion, not the only one, but one of the first people to popularize a Canadian jam knot. And it's in all of his books. So that's kind of where that came from. Now, was it used before that? Maybe. But those that started following him, then you move into the 80s and 90s, more and more books come out, then the internet, and it just blew up from there. Now, on my channel, we use the arbor knot over and over and over and beat that horse to death. I've referred to it as a bushcraft zip tie, and you've all seen me ratchet it, and you actually heard it go. Once it's ratcheted in place, it's locked. We'll finish off with the overhand knot, cut it, and move on. I guarantee it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay there, and some structures are still existing to this day, 4 years later. Downside, every time you do that and cut it, you lose cordage, okay? So an arbor knot is meant to be secured in place and not move. And there's an extra step to guarantee it's not going to move. You add in second overhand knot. So first, let's go ahead and start off with an arbor knot, and I'll show you a couple ways to tie that and lock it in place. By simply cutting that tail off on the short end, it guarantees that your arbor knot cannot be removed. Then you add a simple overhand knot on the long end, cut it, and take the remaining cordage and tie up more arbor knots wherever you need to. Now, when we first started this conversation off, we talked about Morris Kohansky. In his books, if you look at those diagrams, what's shown is the short tail on his Canadian jam knot or arbor knot is left longer. The sole purpose of doing that is to grab it, rock it back and forth, and the Canadian jam knot will loosen up. You can then adjust it where you want it and lock it back down, or remove it entirely. That's the one key difference. Canadian jam knot can be removed. Arbor knot is a bushcraft zip tie, and it's locked down. Now, think this through. If you're creating a structure, do you want a tail on there that you could bump or hit or loosen up and the ceiling collapses on you? You don't want that. You want that thing locked down. Or another example, pack frame. Got a pack frame, I got 25, 30, 50 pounds on that thing. I'm hauling firewood from one end of the camp to the other. Do I want to get snagged on something, loosen up, and the whole thing falls apart? Probably not. So pick your poison. Now, if I'm going to create a temporary sled or something to carry firewood, or something I want to lock down for a minute and then unlock it, Canadian jam knot all day, every day. So my point is, think it through. What's your intent? Semi-permanent or something that could be removed? And there's the simple difference between a Canadian jam knot and an arbor knot. The Canadian jam knot has a longer tail and is meant to be removed, versus the arbor knot is meant to be fixed and left in place. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found on two places. One, my Amazon affiliate page, and two, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. As always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.